What is up, guys? Hello there. It's the Quarter Recall, a live show where we take a look back on what's going on in pop culture this week, 25 years ago. Movies, music, video games. No video games this week, so
Yeah, not a lot of those
movies.
this week,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
not a lot of those this week. Um, but before we get to the past, Leo, what did you get into this week?
This week, I went a little bit into the past. I've been finishing up the Mass Effect trilogy, the Legendary Edition.
What a legend.
Um, yeah, it's been interesting. So I'm towards the end of Mass Effect 3 now, which is the only one I never completed before. And I think Mass Effect 3 is an interesting game. Like the base game is a little bit disappointing, I think, but the DLC, which is sort of a model that it's changed a lot, but this is sort of the height of the Xbox 360 and when DLC was a big deal. The DLC is excellent, like so good. And it's been an interesting insight into how, yeah, that business model has changed so much with games as a service and how different games are now, how everything's through patches and like the Cyberpunk patch, has caused a lot of discourse around like when is a game even finished? So it's been interesting kind of stepping back into the early 2010s or whenever it came out
Yeah,
and being like, yeah, hey man, DLC used to be a fucking awesome big deal, and this DLC really is effective at like, hey, we'll take the base story and expand on it in really genuinely compelling experimental ways, and it's absolutely worth the however much it cost at the time.
yeah.
So yeah,
DLC's also always been a point of contention. Like I remember when DLC first started hitting the scene, and it was always very much like, you know, like they were cutting out the base game. Like on disc DLC, I remember was such like
totally.
a nightmare. But
Well, and even in this game, there was controversy. I didn't follow it at the time because I didn't care, but they released a character called Javik at launch, but you had to buy him, and he's absolutely critical to the story. So I can't even imagine playing base Mass Effect 3 without all the shit around it. So there is some like weird, nasty stuff in there, some weird like gross uh, politics or not politics, but like financial, uh, you know, situations there. But as a complete package, which it is now, you just when you get it all at once, it feels really amazing.
is Javik a
So
romance option? That's all I want to know.
I don't think so. I actually don't know.
If
It's
you
not
can have
really something
sex, if you can pay money and have sex with Javik, and
I
he's
don't think so.
sort of a digital prostitute of sorts, then I'm
You have to
in.
spend an extra $2 to
Yeah,
unlock
I'm
the
in.
the
Uh,
penetration mode.
yeah, I never actually played the Mass Effect games. I've watched a lot of them, like in playthroughs, but um, yeah, never really. I don't know. I have a lot of friends who like swear by them. But then like I think
Yeah.
BioWare is definitely like a type of game. Like
Yeah, you don't really like BioWare from what I understand, for the most part.
no, I mean even KOTOR I found enjoyable as like a story game, but the moment to moment gameplay I found to be actually pretty
Yeah.
pedantic, if you want to say that. Um,
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. The thing that stands out to me about Mass Effect, and again, 3 specifically, the Citadel DLC, which people who played it will know what I'm talking about, is the characters and like the writing and learning more about the lore, much more than the moment to moment gameplay. So I totally understand if people are like, yeah, but they're actually that fun to play. Like it's like reading a book more than anything. I think that's a valid criticism, but it works. It works for me, so I'm excited to finish that up.
that's the one
Um,
with like Martin Sheen in it, right? And
yeah, the elusive man.
he,
Yeah, that's the other thing. The voice acting is totally incredible, like really unparalleled and ahead of its time. I think in a lot of ways, all the voice actors are exceptional.
is the girl from Chuck?
What girl?
The what's her name? The
I don't know. There's a lot of girls, so I don't know.
oh, uh,
And I don't know, honestly. I've never watched Chuck, so I couldn't tell you
how
either
have you
way.
never watched Chuck?
How have you never played Mass Effect 2?
Because it's bullshit.
Yeah, okay. The only other thing I did engage with was I started watching the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre that Netflix put out. And it's not very good, of course, but it's doing some interesting stuff with like gentrification, and that's kind of the lens it's approaching it from, which is sort of compelling, but yeah, it's not great. I can't give it a real recommendation. What have you been up to this week?
Oh, it is the girl from Chuck. She's Miranda. Miranda from.
I don't care for Miranda's character.
Oh, Trisha Heifer's in that game too.
Oh, who does she play?
Uh, Edie.
No way!
Yeah,
Holy shit, I did not know that. Yeah, Edie's also not a great character, but pretty interesting. I had no idea that was her. That's really cool.
yeah, she's good. I love her in Battlestar
Yeah,
Galactica.
agreed. She's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, she's super good. What did I do this week? I played a lot of Lost Ark. I'm all in on
Oh, yeah.
Lost Ark. Lost Ark till I die. I've been playing so much of that stupid game. It
You
it's
and everyone else in the United States.
yeah, it's huge. I'm shocked how huge it is, right? Especially, it is funny. You see these giant Steam numbers, and you realize like, oh, this is like US EU only release. It's got its own numbers for Korea and China or anywhere else it's available. Like, um, that game is massive, like just
Yeah.
massive. But yeah, I'm
And
all in, man. I don't know. It really got its hooks in me.
nice. That's cool to hear. I remember when we were talking a little bit about the numbers and sharing some stats earlier last week or whenever, and I was really just blown away by the fact that PUBG was so successful. I kind of forgot, like that game really was enormously successful as far as I know. That's still number one as far as concurrent users, right?
Yeah, it's by far number one. So Lost Ark is
Yeah,
number
exactly. It's
two
not
at
even
like
close.
1.3, and then massive, and then PUBG had like 2.5 million or almost
Yeah,
like 3 million or something,
which is pretty wild. I
something
don't
wild.
care
Yeah,
for PUBG, but it sure shows how important that game was at the time.
yeah. It's funny. A lot like this game. I remember when PUBG kind of was first coming out, because it was really popular with like some streamers, right? Like it was kind
Yeah,
of catching on
totally.
in that scene. I remember like when we worked at Newegg, like going to like telling the people I knew that played game at Newegg, like you got to check out this PUBG game. It's kind
Yeah,
of shitty, but it's awesome. And everyone was
yeah.
like, whatever, whatever. Like no one really wanted
Shut
to
up,
give it.
Tony. Nobody cares about your
Yeah,
stupid game.
yeah. No one cares about this dumb underground shit, right? And then it just blew up, man. Like it just took off. Everyone played PUBG for a minute there, and yeah, it was crazy. I feel like Lost Ark's kind of having that same trajectory. Like I played in the I tried it when it was in the Korean version and the Russian versions, but I never really invested much time in the foreign versions just because your account could just disappear at any time. You know,
Right.
so I never really got too into them. But yeah, I liked the game for a while, kind of leading into this. So I was really excited for the U.S. release, and yeah, it's really working for me.
Yeah.
Um, other
Got
than
its hooks in ya.
it's got its hooks in me. Other than that, not a lot of movies or anything. I am probably going to go see the Uncharted movie tonight.
Oh
Uh,
boy,
I hear it's
interesting. Let me know.
yeah, I hear it's going to be uh, terrible, like
Yeah.
legit terrible. Um, and I'm ready for it, man. Like,
I don't know why they can't just make a video game movie that isn't terrible. Please, I'm
yeah,
begging.
I don't know either. I
At this
mean,
point, it's almost like they're trolling everyone. Like are they even trying anymore? It's so weird.
I don't know if it's just like I just feel like it's kind of yeah, I don't know. It's hard. Like I feel like that they just don't get the people involved that would need to be involved to make a good video game movie, right? Like uh I feel like
Why?
there is talent in Hollywood that could make good versions of these video game movies,
Agreed.
but they're not the people that get involved. I think the studios are too precious of these properties in a way, like except for Resident Evil. I don't know what happened with those movies.
Yeah. Me
But
neither.
I think that there is a concern if you're Sony and you're making an Uncharted movie. I think there is a concern that you put something in these movies that will somehow jeopardize that product going forward, right? I don't think that's the
So,
truth. I
so
think
they just make it a shitty movie? Like that's not going to jeopardize it?
no, I think they're trying to make a good movie, but
Yeah.
you know, it's like making Star Wars video games. You know what I mean? It's just like
Yeah.
when we cross over into this other form of media, we need to make sure we protect what's important to us in our core function is making movies or games. So they there's always this disconnect. There's always I think there's just always this committee involved that's never going to let it be
Yeah.
what you want
Maybe
it
they're
to be,
maybe they're
right?
too precious.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think a little bit. Um, but I don't know. I'm gonna go see it tonight. I'm sure it's gonna be
Yeah. Let me know
bad.
how it is. Yeah.
Yeah, my girlfriend, her friend is here from Japan, and she just wants to go to the movies. I think it's just an American thing to like,
Oh, yeah.
get a
That's a
big
good. I think that's
popcorn.
probably a pretty good go to the theater movie.
Yeah,
I'd
and
imagine.
especially for someone with limited English, I'm like, it's
Oh
not.
yeah,
You're not really gonna have to know what they're saying.
yeah. This the writing is probably not the strong suit of this movie, if there is one.
Yeah, so I figure it'd be a fun popcorn movie for.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, we're gonna check that out tonight. So I will let you know how that is. But yeah, outside of that, just Lost Ark. I did work out a little bit with some Thrill of the Fight on Quest 2, and
Nice.
I'm actually really sore. Like
Yeah.
it really beat me up. But
The computer was bullying you.
the computer was bullying me. That's for sure.
Cyberbullying. Yeah.
Yeah, I was yeah, cyberbullying on my PC. All right. With that being said, let's watch some movie trailers. There were
Hell yeah.
there were no video games this week, so next week we'll have some games. I
Which is
haven't.
pretty wild, right? Like such
Yeah,
a different time where there were just not video games being released every single day.
yeah, yeah. Every day, video games releasing. Like, there's like I listen to some gaming podcasts where they like announce all the new releases of the week, and
Yeah.
it's like dozens of games.
Yeah. Every
Like
day.
especially if you include Steam, it's just like dozens of games. And so
Yeah.
it is wild to have it like, well, there's like 12 games this month, and most of them are backloaded late in the month, and it's like, what's going on, man? Like,
Yeah. It was a different time for
yeah,
sure.
such a different. Well, there's just no real independent publishing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, because you had to actually make discs. That was not a thing you could do
yeah,
in your house.
someone had to print these bad boys up. But all right, let's get into these movie trailers. Oh, one other note before we move on. I should probably get this out of the way. Uh, Tony Braxton's been dethroned this week.
Oh, fuck yeah. Not anything against her. I'm just excited to talk about something new.
Did you see who dethroned
No.
Tony Braxton?
No, I have not. I like to keep it a surprise, so I'll be looking forward to knowing.
Well, anyone that's looking at the thumbnail knows who dethroned Tony Braxton.
Yeah.
Uh, it's the Spice Girls
Oh, nice.
with "Wannabe."
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. I look forward to talking about that. Should we talk about it now or after the trailers?
Um, we can jump into. I mean, there's not a lot to say about the Spice Girls
Oh,
"Wannabe."
I have a lot to say
Okay,
about the
let's
Spice
hear
Girls
let's
wannabe.
hear what you got to say. I don't want to. We don't have to touch on it again. So let's hear what you got about "Wannabe."
I think "Wannabe" is not a very good song. To be
Correct.
fair, like it
Correct.
sucks. It's very annoying. But my feelings on the Spice Girls themselves have changed a lot in my life. When I remember when it came out, when "Wannabe" came out, I was like most young men of my age, like "fuck the Spice Girl, this is shitty. It's dumb pop, it sucks." I like cool stuff, which is not true. But in my mind, the Spice Girls are sort of representative of like shitty music. And "Wannabe" again is a pretty bad song and an annoying song, so that fit really nicely into that. But as I've gotten older, I fucking love the Spice Girls now. And even like once I got into college and sort of got over myself and trying to be cool, I really started enjoying simple sort of shallow pop music because it's fun, right? It's like well made and it's entertaining and it's nice to listen to. And that song I still can't listen to. I think it sucks. But I really like the Spice Girls, and I kind of do like their vibe now in retrospect. It was cool, very positive, very like accessible,
What spice is
and
your favorite spice?
I don't know. I don't really have a preference.
I always like
I don't
Sporty
know.
Spice.
She was definitely my least favorite, so that's kind of
Sporty
interesting.
Spice was your least favorite. You like Baby Spice more than
That's
Sporty Spice?
I don't like her either. I guess I like the redhead. I forget her name. Ginger
Ginger Spice.
Spice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I like her the best. But that was never why I was into them. I just I don't know. I've come
What
around
about
on them
you
a
don't
lot,
like
and
Posh?
now
You like Posh Spice?
I thought Posh Spice was Sporty Spice.
No, Sporty Spice is the one that's always wearing like track pants and has a little snaggletooth fang. It's always doing
Hmm.
cartwheels and stuff.
I like the Fang thing, but I can't even bring her to mind. So clearly I'm not like a diehard Spice Girls fan.
I don't know. You were
But
talking like you were.
no, I just come around on them a lot, and it's sort of they've been representative of my kind of getting over myself and being like, I can't like this because it's represents something stupid, and now I'm as you get older, you're just like, actually, I'll just like whatever the fuck I want, and I don't have to explain myself to anyone, and no context is required. And they're sort of representative of that. And now I like their vibe. I like their weird music videos, and like they had a PlayStation game called Spice World, I think it was called, and it was horrible, but it's very entertaining and fun. So I don't know. I like Spice Girls. What about you?
I wouldn't say I necessarily like the Spice Girls themselves. I do. I mean, maybe it's a thing for like kind of a coming of age thing for people in general, right? I do feel similar in the fact that I have like let go of that, like, I don't know, that kind of teenage insecurity about sexuality that, makes you like
Yeah,
homophobic and strangely like bigoted, right?
yeah,
And
defensive for no reason.
yeah, defensive. Everything's gonna make you gay, and everything's gonna, and do like pop music a lot more now. Like I like Britney Spears a lot now. Like
Yeah,
as an
same.
adult, I think the Spice Girls are probably better, like better music than most Britney Spears songs. But in that same sense, I'm like, oh,
Probably all written by the same people, honestly.
probably. And like I love Justin Timberlake as an adult. Like even like In Sync Justin
Sure.
Timberlake songs. Like I'm like,
Yeah,
this is
I like
fucking
NSYNC
great.
too.
This is great.
Hmm.
Like I took my girlfriend to a K-pop concert this week. We went and saw Twice at the Forum, and that is all just very generic
Yeah,
pop music. It's good. I mean, it's pretty good, but
it's
uh,
fine. It's like a
and
Marvel movie, Like it's
yeah,
always going to be fun.
yeah, and I enjoy it, and she loves it. And what really shocked me the most about that concert, though, and I don't, this actually kind of came off kind of creepy to me when I was at the concert, is a lot of groups of just dudes in their 20s at the concert, right? Like, so Twice is
Yeah,
like a girl group, and they're cute girls, right? But
of course.
just a lot of these, just like, I wouldn't have imagined before going how many groups of just like five bros, in their 20s would be at this show, right?
Yeah,
Like, I imagine mostly just girls or girls with their boyfriends or, but not just a bunch of dudes screaming for their favorite girl. And you're like,
yeah,
there's something, I don't know, like it's cool. Like enjoy it how you want, you're paying your money, but, there is this kind of like perversion about it that is a
yeah.
little off-putting.
No, I agree, and I do think it goes both ways. Like when you'd see people, like 40-year-old women watching Twilight, I was always like, "There's something wrong here." Like you said, enjoy whatever you want, but there's a voyeuristic like fetishization of youth that can be pretty unpleasant. I've actually had this thought. Like I like Orange Caramel a lot, who is a K-pop group from a few years ago, and I like their music a lot. Like I think they're really cool. I like their music videos, and I was thinking like if they had a concert, which they won't because they're long dead, not dead, but like they're that group is gone. I don't know if I could go because I would just be like, I would just feel really weird being there. And I don't know
Yeah.
if that's a personal issue or like if that's valid or not, but
You know,
taps into that a little bit.
I think it's fine as long as you're not screaming for your favorite girl.
Yeah,
Like I
definitely would
think
not be doing that. I would be not screaming.
there's a lot of like whooping going on, like Arsenio Hall, like whoop whoop whoop. And that seemed very like uh these people are animals, It was
Yeah,
funny at first, and then as the night went on, I was like, all right, this is getting like too much, like,
yeah,
and like too directed at like individuals. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, I definitely I see where you're coming from. But uh, yeah, it's a strange thing. But to go back to the point, yeah, I've definitely opened up more to pop music, and maybe Spice Girls directly weren't my reason for it, but
yeah.
I think it's a fun thing as you get older and you allow yourself to enjoy things like the Spice Girls.
Yeah, exactly. It feels good to be like, yeah, I can like whatever the fuck I want. I don't have to explain myself. That's really what it comes down to. And that's when you become more secure in yourself as a person. You're like, wait, who was I trying to impress? Why do I feel this need to like present a facade? It's very strange.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're teenagers are trying to impress anybody that will look, which
Yeah,
is
totally.
which
But
is
I
so,
guess bye bye Tony Braxton.
bye
Right?
bye Tony Braxton. She can break her. You can break her heart again now. It is not no longer in the unbreaking
No
phase.
longer unbreakable.
Yeah, it's now in the breaking phase.
And I have a sense, I don't know, but I have a sense that Wannabe is going to stick around for a while. So
You
Maybe we'll
would
have more to say about the Spice Girls.
you would be surprised, actually.
Oh, really? Interesting.
I mean, it sticks around for a bit, so I'm not gonna. We won't write it off just yet, but it does. It does have a demise, and it's sooner than you might think. Let's just
Interesting.
we'll leave it at that. All right, Leo, you want to watch some movie trailers?
Yeah. So what's going on in the world of cinema in '97?
You're gonna love the next song. I can't wait to show it to you. All right, let's get into movie trailers. In no particular order.
Yeah,
In
works for
1908,
me.
it flattened
Ooh.
hundreds of square miles.
This guy again.
Blamed for the extinction
Yeah.
of the dinosaur.
America Online.
Scientists
Wow.
are wondering,
Yeah.
could it happen
I didn't even.
again?
This movie, no recollection.
Got some very bad news.
Is this real?
Like a vast minefield.
I don't.
in
Yeah,
space,
I don't know. Just like an
traveling
NBC
34,000
direct.
miles an hour.
You know,
on a
like,
collision course.
this feels like it would come on
We don't pick you up or
NBC
stop
at night.
nice people
You know, like
Asteroid so big.
like a very special must-see TV.
Yeah.
Close.
My fellow Americans, the National
What the
Observatory
hell?
discovered that a number of asteroids now pose a significant risk to our planet.
It was on the list, bro.
Honey, I'm really scared.
But how can the
Hey, I'm really scared. Just so you know, pretty upset about this.
I wish you would have been like
Is that
really.
Michael Bean?
Yeah. Everyone's scared, you dumb bitch.
for a miracle?
Exactly. Just slap her.
The human race would be lucky to survive.
Now, without weapons powerful enough to destroy.
Whoa! Was that an F-14 with a fucking laser?
Fuck yeah, bro.
and with
Dude, we gotta watch this movie.
torn apart.
It does look pretty dope.
You'll just stay in the basement.
What's the
Oh, it's just
basement
in
gonna
front of
do?
a-
What's the basement
It's in
gonna
front of a water heater.
Have to hold on to.
Hey girl, the world's about to destroy. Get in the basement.
Get in the basement, man. You'll be all right.
Oh shit.
Bye.
Because the sky
It's falling. Please
Dead.
falling.
Yes. The sky is dead. The sky is dead.
Yeah.
Of a predator.
Oh,
And daylight.
daylight.
Starring Michael
Yeah, I
Biehn
don't know.
Welcome to your worst nightmare.
and Annabella Sciorra.
This looks like shit.
NBC's highest-rated blockbuster miniseries since 1980.
Oh, it's a miniseries, okay.
Over 75 million viewers.
Hang on!
Where an earth-shattering disaster can
Oh, it must
tear
be
the
an
And it
NBC
just
movie.
keeps going too.
Yeah.
but not the will to survive. When courage is tested.
Grab my hand.
Peace out,
Bye.
bro.
Yeah.
Are born.
Oh, if that kid lived, I'm gonna be so
The
mad.
end of the world is just the beginning.
Ooh.
Who will survive? Asteroid.
Well, yeah. I don't know, man. That was pretty good.
Who will
Very
survive?
compelling
Who will survive is what I want to know.
and great name. They're like, what should we call this movie? So
Yeah.
many options. We could call it Doomsday. We could call it Apocalypse. We could call it Threat from Above.
All right, I need to look up. Like, is this a movie?
No, it was a miniseries. They said.
But it showed up as a film, so I don't know if this was specifically like. I think it's based on a miniseries.
Oh. I don't know. There was a lot of different stuff. I feel like it must have been a miniseries. Like, how could you fit all that action into one 2-hour movie?
How could you? No, it was a movie. It's got box office
Holy
numbers
fuck.
here. It made $19 million. Yeah, it's a fucking movie, dude.
Wow. I don't know. I would watch that. It looks really bad, but I would definitely watch it.
IMDb 4.7 out of 10. With all the different set pieces and like things we saw, that movie has to move so fast.
Yeah.
Right,
The pace
like-
must just be insane.
Insane. It's trying to tell so many stories. All right, let's watch this next one. As you can see, it's from
I
trailer
love that. Can you check out jacknicholson.info when you get a second?
jack-nicholson.info. Whoever runs this site, there's your plug. Congratulations. All right,
Yeah.
let's go on this one.
Light. What did you just do?
I like to take a photo of the goods. Avoids any disagreement on the sale.
You got me in the picture.
Did I?
Alex Gates thought he committed
I
the
would make sure
perfect
he got rid of that
crime,
photo.
Somebody from the police department.
But there were some things
that John
he
Goodman?
didn't count on.
Nice to have you home. Just for the novelty.
This is my stepson, Jason.
Gabriella, Jason. Jason, Gabriella. I'm gonna take you places, baby.
Oh, yeah, where?
You trust the girl? Yeah, I trust her. She doesn't know anything.
I put Terry's life insurance into that store and you spent it on your girlfriends while my checks bounced.
Don't you tell me I didn't try.
All right, give me the keys.
You are gonna talk to me.
This is intense.
I love 90s trailers, man.
This is so intense. I'm in right now.
Think.
This was in the suitcase.
Sue me if we ever find the kid. We'll use a blowtorch on him.
I found it. Come quickly.
You told him how to find us.
He's only a kid.
He's a thief. Him and his mother. Where is it?
I already gave the damn thing back to Alex.
Why don't I believe you?
Jack Nicholson.
We'll make a move soon, Dick. He told me he already did. You talked to Jason?
You think you can cut me out? Stephen Dorff. Who's your English pal?
Never trust Stephen Dorff. Like that's
Yeah, I know.
There's a rule.
Talk about typecast.
Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah.
Don't look at me
Oh,
like
wow.
You slept with him.
that. You're crazy.
Where?
No place, okay? No place.
Judy Davis.
Jack Nicholson, you got involved with Stephen Dorff. What do you expect to happen?
With me.
Yeah.
Michael Caine.
There's no such thing as honor among thieves. It's a myth.
Stealing a fortune is easy.
Don't do this.
You did. Keeping it can be murder.
Wake up, Alex.
Why you not gonna make it?
I want to see your face.
Oh my god.
Blood and wine.
Just tell me where it is so I can get out of your life.
Oh, it's right in the pocket. It was right there.
It was right there the whole time.
That's cool. Do you think that was Jennifer Lopez's like first movie?
No, because this is after Selena, I think.
Okay.
I think Selena was her first big movie. You don't know
Quite a movie to start with.
You didn't watch Selena, bro?
No, I never got into Selena. I have a. This is sort of unrelated, but I have a mug that has Selena on it.
You have a mug?
Because, yeah, at some point, I guess some friends in LA, I like mentioned Selena, I guess, or like talked about her. I don't know why. I've never been like a huge Selena fan, and I guess it stuck with them, and they bought me a mug. And when they bought it for me, I was like, oh, it's very cool. It's a Selena mug. And they're like, yeah, you love Selena.
Do you love Selena?
I mean, I don't dislike Selena, but I can't. I'm trying to remember the context of why they were like, yeah, Leo, Selena for sure. But there you go.
I mean, I like Selena, I guess.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lopez
Who
was in
doesn't?
quite a few movies, actually, prior.
Was this
to-
pre-Anaconda?
Oh, this was definitely pre-Anaconda. Well, so she made a couple movies when she was younger, and then in '95 was in a movie called Mi Familia, like a Mexican. Oh yeah, I was like, I bet Edward James Olmos is in it. He sure is. She's in Money Train.
I haven't seen that either.
Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson.
Hmm.
In a movie called Jack with Robin Williams in 1996.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That's the one where he has like some weird fucking disease and he grows old, but he's a kid.
Yeah, he's like an old kid. And then
Very 90s.
97 was this movie, Selena, Anaconda, and U-Turn.
So she's gonna come up again, no doubt.
No, I mean
We got
she's-
some Jennifer Lopez to look forward to.
We'll see her in a month for Selena, which I'm excited to talk about. That was a great
Yeah,
film.
me too. Maybe I'll watch that movie.
It's good. I mean, especially, it's funny growing up, like I'm half Mexican, and so like growing up with my Mexican family, like Mexican people adore Selena. Like when she died, it was like the biggest thing. Like everyone knew.
So
It was like-
weird.
yeah. It was like if Michael Jackson had died when he was young, or something, right? Like he truly was like beloved by the people of at least Mexico, as far as I knew. And so
Yeah, I remember. I grew up in New Mexico, but one of my closest friends was Mexican, and I do remember when she died. It was like it was odd from an outsider perspective. I was like, why is everyone? Who gives a shit? Like,
and she was at her
cares?
prime too. I think is a big like if Britney Spears got murdered when she was like at her
yeah,
prime.
I wouldn't care about that either. But totally, I hear your point, and I do think like if you're a minority in a different country, having someone break out, who is one of your people, I could see why that would be compelling.
Yeah, I mean, I think if she died when she was a little older, or maybe wasn't as immediately relevant, it might have had less impact. But like she was at her peak when she got, and she didn't die of like a disease; she got murdered. So it was very much like
By the president of her fan club.
Yeah, and like someone that had worked with her on like a lot of stuff, you know, like it wasn't a stranger by any means,
Exactly.
right?
It's a pretty wild story.
It
Yeah, I
is.
gotta watch this movie.
Yeah, you
You
should.
know?
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
And Jennifer Lopez is great in it. But all right, next trailer. This isn't Selena talk. That's coming up next month.
Yeah. It's a different podcast.
John Singleton.
Thank you for the bounty of our lives and the blessings you bestowed on us in home and family.
In 1923, the black town of Rosewood was a land.
Black
of
film about
opportunity.
the 1920s. This should be a happy story.
Yeah.
Colored folks own all the land around here, all the businesses.
There's a lot of
too.
tension watching this trailer and being like, oh man, what's going to happen to these poor people?
Yeah. Nothing good.
Nothing good.
Until the day one woman's false accusation
Tell me the truth. Was it truly a colored done this to you?
unleashed a fury
Oh,
against
boy.
their town.
If you find him, well, you know what to do.
There'd be some trouble around here, sir. We sure use your help.
There ain't no way in the world one man got enough bullets for all them crackers.
And a search for the guilty became a hunt.
Was crackers a popular word in the 1920s?
Women and children ain't done nothing wrong to no
I think so. I'm sure this got everything totally accurate and right.
I just feel like that's a newer...
I don't think so.
No?
Oh, wow! Gotta have Ving Rhames fucking dual wielding 1911s.
Trust me.
1920s, okay. 1920s.
Yeah, it's a 1911 handgun.
Oh. Oh.
1911 A1.
Warner Brothers
Excuse
presents
me.
from director John Singleton and producer John Peters the extraordinary
Johns.
story of how one town faced fear with courage, fought hate with dignity,
And guns.
And also a lot of
risked
guns,
their
yes.
lives to defend their home. John Voight, Ving Rhames, Michael Rooker, Asteroid,
Oh, yeah.
Don Cheadle.
We need to pray. Now, dear Lord,
Early Don Cheadle, for sure.
Now, I was born and raised in Rosewood. This here's my home, and I'll be damned if I'm gonna let anybody run me over.
I'll start with some lying-ass white girl.
I know. Doesn't it always?
Always, man.
I mean, honestly, that looks pretty good. I'm sure it's a
That
fine
actually
movie.
does look like a good movie.
Yeah, I'd definitely watch it.
I mean-
There's something about the VO, though. VO from this era was so... very much tell, don't show. Like, here's exactly what's happening in this movie.
Yeah.
Every single scene you see, let me provide some context.
Well, I mean, I think it was just very formulaic of like
Yeah.
how to meet the expectations of a movie trailer. I mean, now movie trailers are such like a thing, right? Like you have
Yeah.
people trying to make interesting, like different movie trailers, but then it was just like, hey, get the movie trailer guy, cut out some scenes and have him
totally.
describe them. You know, like
Yeah, exactly. I have a strong sense the people who made the movie had zero involvement in the trailer.
Yeah, I do
I
too.
suspect that people would see the trailer for their movie that they directed and be like, God damn it.
I also
Fucking sucks.
have a strong suspicion that trailers were pretty cheap to make back then.
Yeah, totally. There was
Right.
like one studio probably.
They just cranked them out, and they charged $2,500 or something. It would make 5 a week or something.
Yeah, and there were 2 VO guys.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Okay. 20th Century Fox.
Oh boy.
We kind of talked about this one already, but
I don't know if you're getting this, but the audio is totally fucked.
like just bad.
Yeah, it's totally like robotic and crazy, but anyway.
You know what it sounds like.
Yeah, totally.
The audio's not very
So-
good in this clip, though.
This movie is fucking awesome.
It is an awesome movie. This trailer
Yeah.
reminds me how terrible the special editions look.
Yeah, they really did. They did a wonderful job of making it worse.
So much worse.
It's really weird. And it's so interesting in retrospect, like the fact this is what he did before making the prequels. Just leave it alone. It was really good as is.
Yeah. That dude was high as a kite or something.
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi. Let's go. A time to take
Like the digital, like yeah, like these scenes here where they're so bad.
But then all the other scenes are fucking awesome.
Right now. Well, because these scenes are, you know, these are the ones they touched up, right? Like it's not the.
That looks like shit, but that looks great.
Yeah,
it's so obvious.
Like that looks good too. Like the models over the hand painted environments look so good, and then
I know
the digital ones look so bad.
Yeah.
So we kind of already
more
watched
footage of a Wampa
for the first Star Wars, but we're gonna keep watching.
Yeah, it's worth talking about again. Like seeing these in theaters was awesome because you know, it was before I cared about how shitty the CGI was, you know.
Yeah,
but I love this movie, and this movie, Empire Strikes Back, really is, you know, all the discourse around Star Wars that you and I have had, and like in the world today, and it as a Disney product. Empire Strikes Back is a fucking awesome movie.
Yeah,
by like every metric, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I think, to be honest, I think A New Hope being campy and kind of whatever, right? But having that as a lead-in to Empire Strikes Back nailed it as far as like what it needed to be after that movie.
Like when your movie starts off with the Battle of Hoth, and the AT-ATs just walking, like I remember just being like, okay, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, who was smart enough to be like, we're so poised to have the second movie just fucking kick ass? Like, you know, people know the characters. We don't got to do any of this bullshit. We don't have to, you know, like we can just fucking slam it out.
Just go for it.
Cool shit, right? And then have a great ending. Like that movie ends so good. I like that it ends disappointingly, right? Like, 'cause I feel like that wasn't as common then as it is. I think now we kind of see that in like all of these like pre-planned, you know, there's like Dune, you know, there's going to be a next one. So it's like, we won't even end it. I feel like the end of Empire, you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's just Luke just gets a huge emotional bomb dropped on him, gets his fucking hand chopped off, gets his ass beat and thrown down an airlock. The end.
Yeah,
like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's great. It's just such
now the entire like construct of Cloud City is so cool and visually compelling.
Yeah, and the whole squad gets it's like the end of Realm Reborn, you know? Like the squad's in disarray.
Exactly.
Like what are we gonna do? We gotta put the pieces back together, and it's beautiful. Han's fucking frozen in carbonite. Luke's one arm, got his ass.
Yoda? They just like bring in Yoda, like, hey,
yeah,
here's Yoda, a very iconic character, just kind of here. No big deal.
Yeah, I mean, the Yoda stuff's cool. Like, yeah, it's a great movie. I kind of want to watch Empire again. I kind of want to watch the original Star Wars movies again, but I don't know. I don't want to watch the stupid special editions again.
Just watch Empire. It's really all you need to watch.
All right. Yeah, I've seen A New Hope enough times. We can do that.
Yeah. There's a Death Star. And it explodes. You know the whole deal.
Yeah. Obi-Wan. He's cool. He's dead. Let's go. All right. Next trailer.
I know what this is just by...
before, haven't we?
I don't think so.
At your house, don't you remember?
No, I don't.
As a matter of fact, I'm there right now.
That's crazy, man.
That's crazy.
It is? Yeah. David Lynch at his prime.
I like that.
I think there's no such thing as a bad coincidence.
I like to remember things my own way, not necessarily the way they happened.
Someone broke in and taped us while we slept.
Is that you? Are both of them you?
We have to get out of here.
Why didn't you tell me anything?
It's been a pleasure talking to you.
If I ever found out somebody was making out with her.
He'll kill us.
Making out with her.
Did you make out with that girl?
I bet whatever studio was making all the previews, when they got a David Lynch movie, they're probably like, fuck.
Yeah, like,
I don't know how to make this trailer.
I feel like David Lynch made his own trailers.
Yeah, I hope so.
You know, I don't think anyone, you know, the narration's gone. It's the trailer feels very David Lynch, right?
Yeah.
Like it's equally as ambiguous and confusing as the film.
Yeah, I'll say this though. This movie was I've actually never seen Lost Highway, but when I first started discovering music and like my musical identity, the Lost Highway soundtrack was very formative figuration, right? Because it was a Nine Inch Nails was on it. It has some great Marilyn Manson songs, so it was like it has The Perfect Drug, which was a song I really loved, and that was all sort of heavily involved in this movie. So oddly, though I've never actually seen the movie, the soundtrack was very formative for me, which is...
I've also never seen the movie, so...
It
maybe we
looks
need to watch it.
intolerable.
What?
And I like David Lynch, and it still looks intolerable.
It does look intolerable. It looks, yeah. It looks like it'd give me a headache to try and watch it. You know, like I would just come out of it like...
Totally.
Like, I don't know. I don't have a lot of patience for anything anymore than I'm old.
I like David. Like, you know, you got to just kind of get in the right mind space. Like, I like Twin Peaks. I think I really like Eraserhead, but I could totally understand people being like, "Nah, fuck this."
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I understand it too. I mean, I for one am like, I like when people do interesting things. Sometimes I enjoy them, sometimes I don't. I mean, that doesn't mean that like that doesn't make them valid or invalid, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So, you know, I guess whatever is my feelings about a lot of David Lynch stuff.
I think that's fair. I think that's a valid opinion. It's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's like, you know. And some people seem to really love everything he does. And so if that's the case, then like, go for it, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Those things are made for a niche, right?
All of that said, The Perfect Drug, great song. Absolutely slaps.
Yeah, it is a great song. You know, it's funny. I was listening to people talk about Horizon Zero Dawn this week. Like I said, I listened to
Zero Dawn.
Or Forbidden West, excuse me.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, it's funny, you know, people that talk about games are such like a wild bunch, right? And I heard not a lot, but some kind of negative, kind of negative takes on Horizon as a whole, right? As far as like, oh, it's all about like looking good and it's not that great an open world game. And I don't think that's obviously the case for most people's view, but it does kind of remind me of like, you know, there's people that just want niche things, right? Like they want to play like indie games and watch David Lynch movies and hate Avengers and hate Horizon, you know, like, and I guess those people need content too, you know, so.
Yeah, I guess, but what I don't understand, because I, you know, totally agree with you. I think, and I sometimes fit into that category, sometimes I don't. But what I don't understand is denigrating things you don't like. Like, that's the part. And that kind of gets back into what we were saying earlier. Like, when I was young, I was like, no, fuck the Spice Girls. I have to actively express that I don't like them as part of my identity. And it's just like, why, man? Like, why do you have to focus on things you don't like instead of just focusing on things you do? That's the part I don't get. Like, if you're like, no, man, I only watch David Lynch movies. Fuck Marvel. Fuck every Disney movie. It's like, why not just focus on the first part?
Yeah.
Why do you have to, like, drag shit you don't like, even if you have good reasons for it? Like, just move on, man. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, I do agree. I think we just, I mean, we have a culture of discourse, but I think it's because we have a culture of children now, right? Like, I think we've really done our best as a society to abandon what we might
reason
see
for madness.
Just maturity, or what we might see as like growing up,
totally.
Right? Like, I think we're attempting to hold on to this like childish virtue of like counterculture and discourse and you know, like fuck the social contract, fuck authority, like, you know, which is fine, and I think those are ideas people should explore for themselves and
for sure,
you know, should be kind of spoken about and philosophized about, and you should kind of, but you know, I think as a society kind of not believing that these things are, you know, necessary, or, you know, I think it's a misnomer. I think it's immature, right?
Yeah.
And I think that that is kind of the current virtue that we celebrate is immaturity. You know.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the '90s and this time in the '90s was particularly rife with that, right? Like,
Yeah.
it was very much about destroy the system, which again is valid, and there's a lot of interesting conversations that can be had around that. But the piece that was missing, or that is often missing in those conversations, is like, okay, destroy it, and then what?
Yeah.
And that kind of gets into like the same with art, the same with rejecting things. Is like, no, man, fuck that. And it's like, okay, that's actually not that useful of a perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be valuable for sure, but also, fuck that, and then what? Well, I don't know. I just hate everything. I have no solutions to anything. Is not. It can make for some interesting art, but it's not a particularly compelling, like, holistic perspective, you know?
Yeah, like when I was in high school, right, and I'm sure you as well, we all knew the kids with like Che Guevara shirts and Bad Religion patches on their backpacks.
Oh,
And like,
absolutely.
and it seems like the ideas those people had are now the ideas that 30-year-olds have on Twitter, right?
Right.
And they miss the phase of getting a job at Discount Tire and, like moving on with your life. And so, I think that's kind of where we get this like continued, like, just kind of negativity, right? Like this constant, like, expectation to kind of slap back and hate and to, like, denigrate things that you feel are part of this like larger normie culture, or
Yeah, like making things you don't like your identity
Yeah.
instead of things you do like is not actually cool, or like, it's fine to have opinions and it's fine to express your opinions. But yeah, this idea of I'm identified by the things I hate is pretty weak overall. It's weak as, like, from an artistic perspective. It's weak as a cultural identity. It's just not very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think even having your identity be so largely based on like content or like, in
Yeah,
general,
that someone
like
else made.
positive or negative, right, is strange in
totally.
its own right, and to focus even more on the negative is like doubly strange. You know what I mean? Like,
Agreed.
like it's a weird time.
Yeah,
But-
like if everyone was like, man, I'm an anime guy, that's what I just love. But instead of that, they're like, I only talk about anime I hate. That's my identity. It's fucking
and I think
bizarre,
that's what
you
a lot
know?
of people do, right? Like, I think that's really, like, that specifically is very common. I think people like hating on music and and
Yeah, and
believe me,
games.
I love arguing for fun, right?
Totally.
Like,
Same.
if you want to,
Yeah, I think we contribute to this problem for sure.
yeah, and I think it's fine if it's for fun, right? Like, if I want to say, like, I think Xbox is dumb or whatever, and you're like, no, it's cool, and we're just like, whatever. Like, who cares? I'm not going to change my Twitter handle to like fuck Xbox, or you know what I mean, or like Sony for life. Or
You're not going to wear a PlayStation shirt.
I do have a PlayStation shirt.
Oh, okay.
I got it from
Sorry,
Target.
never mind. I didn't mean to call you out like that.
I have a Nintendo one too, but I don't have an Xbox.
But
one,
you don't
that's
have an
for sure.
Xbox shirt.
That's for
Interesting.
sure. But yeah, I don't like make it my. I don't always.
Yeah, it's not your identity.
Yeah. People's chosen identity, like the way people choose to represent themselves, is so telling, right? But all right, I think we can kind of close it there. We're all out of trailers. February 22nd, 1997 has come to a close. I feel like you were a little content poor this week when we were young kids, right? Like, no new games
we were
to
probably
play.
still excited about the games we'd gotten the month before, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
Different time.
I wasn't gonna go watch Lost Highway. At least I could watch Empire Strikes Back. I mean, that kind of made up for it. But
Watching a V.
yeah, no new games at the movie store or at the video store this week. Like, it's a tough week, man.
It was sweet. Yeah, it was rough.
It was rough. I get a rent.
We left Blockbuster very disappointed that week.
Yeah, it was a bad week at Blockbuster. But all right, that's it for the show. Thank you guys so much. Is there anything else you wanted to chime in with, Leo, before we got out of here?
No, just as always, thanks for sticking with us, and
no more diatribes on identity politics. We oughta,
yeah, maybe next week.
Yeah, maybe next week.
And tune in next week for more Spice Girls talk.
We'll definitely double down on Spice Girls next week. We do have some games next week, and of course, more new movie trailers. So come check us out. Thank you so much for listening. And have a great weekend.